Hello, this is Samantha Susai reporting for Weather and Climate Class ATM 101 for Unit 12. This week we are reviewing and forecasting the weather based off the weather during the week of September 10th to September 16th, 2012. As we look at Monday, September 10th's map, we see that the maritime region of Unalaska, the continental region of Fairbanks, as well as the coastal regions of Anchorage and Wasilla have clear skies, giving us an average of higher temperatures during the day but dropping significantly at night, as shown here on the temperature charts of Unalaska, where we see the temperature was at a high around 57 degrees for Monday during peak hours, but then dropped significantly to around 45 degrees at night. Fairbanks shows that there was a high of 50 degrees, but then drops to 30 degrees at night. Anchorage shows highs of 56 degrees, dropping to 35 while going into night. And then Wasilla shows that they had a high of 55 and then drops to a low of 37 degrees at its nighttime. As we head back to Monday's Today weather map, we see that the other maritime region, Kodiak, is experiencing cloudier weather, which is giving them somewhat lower temperatures but less drastic changes during the night, which again is shown here on the temperature chart. We see that the high in Kodiak for Monday was at around 52 degrees while the low only hit at 47. Again, going back to Monday's Today weather map, we see that there are a couple of low pressure systems that are moving in from the south and west towards the maritime and coastal regions. They should be bringing a forecast of continuous cloudy skies and precipitation like snow for areas like Kodiak, but then new cloudier skies and precipitations for Unalaska, Anchorage, and Wasilla over the next couple of days. It doesn't seem like the effects of the low pressure systems will reach the continental region of Fairbanks, but that the high pressure system from the north will continue to affect this area. We can see these forecasts on Monday's Tomorrow map for Tuesday, where we see a lot of cloud cover, snow, rain, and fog in the maritime and coastal regions, while there are still clear skies in the continental region. For Monday's forecast for Wednesday on the Next Day Weather's map, on the next day we see again plenty of cloud cover and precipitation in both the maritime and coastal areas again, but this time we see that the low pressure system has moved toward the interior, bringing in that cloud cover, but just barely hitting the Fairbanks region. As we can see on Wednesday's Today weather map, we see that Monday's forecasting weather was pretty accurate and that the low pressure systems did move over, bringing that cloud cover to both the maritime and coastal regions, while still leaving a small window of clear skies for the continental region of Fairbanks, which still gives the area its drastic changes in temperature from day to night, shown here on the Fairbanks temperature chart for the week. Notice that the highs are averaging in the 50s and then dropping well into the 25 to 30 degree regions for the first part of the week. As we head further into the week, on Wednesday's Tomorrow weather map, which is forecasting for Thursday, we see that there is a low pressure system that is coming in from the southwest. At the beginning of this low pressure system, we see that there is a warm front leading. This warm front could have predicted warmer temperatures for Kodiak, Unalaska, and Anchorage areas for Thursday. As we look at Wednesday's Next Day weather map, which is forecasting for Friday, we again see that there's a possibility of warmer temperatures for Kodiak and Wasilla because of that same warm front still leading the low pressure system. However, for Unalaska, we see that the occlude front could be providing those warmer temperatures. When we look at Friday's Today weather map, we see that the low pressure system actually turns in an occlude front. As shown here, the cold air is being taken over by warmer air, giving the areas of Unalaska, Kodiak, and Anchorage those warmer temperatures that we forecasted earlier. As we continued on to Sunday's weather, we did notice that in Fairbanks we have complete cloud coverage, but that, according to the temperature chart, temperatures were higher than that earlier in the week. We would assume that because of the cloud coverage blocking majority of the radiant heat, temperatures would be lower, but what happened was that Fairbanks experienced Chinook winds coming in from over the mountain ridges. What happened was that the low pressure system to the southwest of Fairbanks pushed moisture-filled air towards the interior, where as it went over the mountain ridge, it released all its moisture at the top, creating a warm, dry downward wind that flowed into the Fairbanks area, giving us the warmer weather. Based on all the information given, I would have to say that the hardest region for forecast would have been for the continental region of Fairbanks. There really wasn't any real pressure system that dominated the area so as to give you a definite weather prediction. And geographically, with Fairbanks being in the interior, surrounded by mountain ranges, and basically being a bowl, predicting the weather here is a lot harder. As you can see on my worksheet of persistence forecast and climatology forecast, Fairbanks did have the largest error average in both areas, giving the impression that it was much harder to forecast the area. As we are continuing to look at the worksheet, we can also see that an average, the 3-day forecasting weather, is a lot more accurate than that of the 7-day forecasting. And according to the assessment charts, we also see that the climatology forecast also was a lot more accurate than the persistence forecast. As we look at the computer forecasting, we see that besides Fairbanks, the error in average daily temperatures were small in range, giving all A's in the assessment charts, making the computer forecasting more accurate than the persistence forecast and the climatology forecast.